Part 350. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3491. This is for real. The City Lord Cao Teng was a little panicked. Really, don't mess around, okay? If the tribunal really came, it would be no small matter. When the time comes, won't all the benefits that the City Lord has obtained in Guangming God City be turned upside down? How can I show my face before the Pope? How will I deal with myself then? In his position, he does not seek his own government, but seeks his own interests. Even if the Pope pampers himself again, in order to set the record straight, he will definitely use his own knife. Thinking about this, the City Lord Cao Teng couldn't hold back the fire anymore. There is nothing to do at first, and everyone earns money and cultivates according to their duties. Isn't this good? I have to toss and toss. Now I have to come up with those bells and whistles. All of this is the fault of that scoundrel. Thinking of this, Cao Teng was furious. Have a good day, don't you want to pass it? Do you have to turn over the water? So happy? Cao man suddenly had a very bad premonition. Bitch! Get over here! You bastard! Who allowed you to lead troops to surround Guangming Academy? Who allowed you to mobilize the 34th Squadron of the Legion of Light? Who gave you dog guts? You are really a coward now. Asshole! Asshole! Severe punishment. Must be severely punished. I'm furious. Snapped. Clap clap. Cao Teng gritted his teeth, and the strength of his arm was raised to the extreme. In this wave, just start playing blindly. The speed is getting faster and faster, and the speed is reaching the extreme. Isn't that the case? In all aspects, it has gradually followed the performance. Real, and clear. Cao man's face swelled rapidly, and slowly turned into a pig's head. Oh shit! Can this work? Could this be the legendary blow from a loving father? Grass. Mentality collapsed. Completely collapsed. Brains, buzzing. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm so miserable now, you still hit me. Am I your own son? Why do I feel that it is even more unreliable than the one I picked up? Cao man gritted his teeth, with an aggrieved expression on his face. Originally, I came here for comfort, but now it's better, the comfort was not in place, and instead I was beaten again and again. How can there be such a father? Cao Teng. It doesn't matter if you kill me. But the point is, you want to avenge me. Otherwise, I'm unwilling. Kill Fang Fan. Revenge. Otherwise, wouldn't I have been beaten in vain? No. This is absolutely not possible. This hatred must be avenged. Cao man yelled, he hoped to increase the pressure on Cao Teng through this method. Roll. You risked your own death to besiege Guangming Academy. Now that you are humiliated, you still want revenge. It's not bad to save your life. Cao Teng glared at Cao man, then reprimanded him angrily. In fact, the subtext is that the time is not ripe now. Now we still need the help of Guangming Academy. Offending Guangming Academy now will not do us any good for the City Lord's mansion. Seeing that the army of the Protoss is about to arrive, the Dawn City established by the Dawn Academy has been terminated. The God City of the Seven Academy established by the Seven Great Academies is also in jeopardy. Now the risk factor is fully gathered. If you are not careful, you may have to burn the flames of war to the bright God City. If it really comes to that time, how should we deal with ourselves? This problem is clearly there, and it must be solved at the same time. Thinking that there are only a few city guards in the bright God City, they must rely on the Guangming Academy to defend the bright God City. So at this moment, we can only establish a good relationship with Guangming Academy. Otherwise, whenever something happens in the bright God city, His Majesty the Pope will not care about feelings. At that time, you will only be sprayed with blood. I don't want to feel that scene anymore. Cao Tang, are you still my father? First you ignored me, but now you treat me like this. You don't care how your son has been bullied outside. Damn, what is your psychology? Both of my arms were cut off, and you don't even fart. Have you been frightened like this by Guangming Academy now? You are the lord of the city after all, right? You are also a demigod, right? How do you live so uselessly? Will you avenge me? If you don't avenge me, I will kill myself. I want to make you regret for thousands of years. Cao Man gritted his teeth, and then solemnly used his thoughts to place a long sword on his neck, as if to wipe his neck. Because there is no hand, it can only be manipulated with the mind. Cao Teng looked at him expressionlessly. Wipe. You are wiping it? You only need to manipulate your mind lightly, and you can get rid of this grievance and suffering. How? It's the end, can't you bear it? So what you just said, that is to say. Then what's the use of all these fancy things? A cold snort followed, and the city lord Cao Teng became even more indifferent. Cao Man's lips trembled, he was speechless. Is this really his father? Could it be that he was taken away? How could my father be like this? My dad can't be so ruthless. There is a problem here, there is definitely a problem. Where are these mysteries? So sad, so painful, I want to explode. It's impossible to just kill yourself. It is impossible to kill yourself in this life. Better to die than to live. I really can't make that thought about myself. Cao Teng. Hello. You're fine. Since you don't care about the father-son relationship between us, then I, Cao Man, will break with you today. I'll cut the bones back to the father. I'll cut the flesh back to the mother. I want to sever the father-son relationship with you. It's too late for you to regret it now. Otherwise, I really want to sever the father-son relationship. Cao Man began to gnash his teeth, while speaking, his posture was surging, and his thoughts burst out. This gaudy feeling slowly followed in place. Unexplainable pain in the head. That's it? Can we be a little more honest? Good. Then cut it off. It just so happens that the big one is disabled, and I want to open a small one to continue training. Without you, I will still be my city lord. What are you without me? Cao Tang, the city lord, speaks every word, and everything he says is the truth. Xiao Mian, I can't cure you anymore? On weekdays, Cao Teng wouldn't bother to talk much, it's okay for you to make a fuss or a fight. But today there are too many messes. Cao Teng is burning with anxiety. All these messy things came at once, and he couldn't bear it. The situation has taken a turn for the worse. God Race Army. The possible coming tribunal. There is also the Guangming Academy whose relationship has dropped to freezing point. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3492. One pile after another, all are broken things. Facing Cao Teng's overbearing, Cao Man was a little confused for a while. Although this is not pleasant to say, but if you think about it carefully, isn't that the case? Now he's completely stuck. What can we do next? Just now I pretended to sever the relationship between father and son, but now I regret it. Break the hammer. Without this father who is the lord of the city, he is nothing. Just now I just wanted to scare my father, who would have thought that the city lord Cao Teng was in a rage just now, and then he went directly to the muzzle of the gun. Thinking about it this way, it's really unlucky. Invisibly, Inexplicably, I feel my brain buzzing. That's it? Nothing. I feel like I can't do anything. This mentality is more or less unbearable, and my brain bursts in an instant. I don't want to talk about the others. Father. I didn't mean that. Just now I was too anxious. Father, don't take it seriously. It's really not what you think. Father. There was a flattering smile on CAO man's face. Now that he had no choice but to retreat, let's start cursing him. If something happened to the only backer, he wouldn't have to live anymore, his life would be terminated in an instant. These situations need to be clear. Get out of the way. Don't make trouble for me. Labor and management have a lot of messy things to deal with, and they can't take care of you. The city lord, CAO Tang, glanced sharply at the past, and snorted coldly, appearing angry. Although CAO man scolded CAO Tang bloody in his heart, he didn't dare to be too arrogant at the moment, so he could only nod and bow quickly. Mentally, break down a little. Otherwise, it will explode directly. This is crazy, who can hold on? In terms of language, there must be a charter, right? In terms of feelings, we must understand. That's the thing, that's the situation. Yes, Dad, you are busy, you are busy. If there is anything that needs to be done by the child must define it. CAO man nodded and bowed, and now he began to bear it. It's really interesting to say that this is a father and son. They are still suspicious of each other. This, somehow feels a bit gimmicky. The meaning of the joke seemed extraordinarily strong. The face of the city lord Cao Teng suddenly turned from cloudy to clear, his eyebrows raised, and then he looked at Tan Xian, the leader of the 34th Squadron of the Bright Army. Tan Xian Squadron Leader. The destruction of the 34th Squadron doesn't need to be reported for the time being. It's not good if this trivial matter is bothered by the tribunal. Don't worry, I will definitely give an explanation to the brothers in the 34th Squadron. For the beast, the lord of the city will definitely not forgive it easily. But the current situation is turbulent, so it's better to have one thing less. Let's put this matter under pressure for the time being. What does Squadron Captain Tan Xian think? The city lord Cao Tang forced a smile, and the corners of his mouth subconsciously twitched as he spoke. The Legion of Light destroyed a squadron. If this matter gets involved, it will definitely alarm the tribunal. After all, the Legion of Light is the personal guard of the Pope and the face of the Pope. As long as it involves matters under the Pope's crown, it is not a trivial matter. And once the adjudication office came to Guangming God City, he couldn't handle that little thing. At that time, if the adjudication office finds any clues of his corruption and breaking the law, it will be even more troublesome. So right now, we need to stabilize Tan Xian too first, and not let him bring this matter up, otherwise we will be unable to hold back at that time. Ah! My lord, if I conceal this, I will be dealt with by military law. At that time, how can I gain a foothold in the Legion of Light? Tan Xian frowned, a little unhappy, he didn't want to die yet. Does Squadron Captain Tan Xian feel that he can gain a foothold in the Legion of Light according to his current situation? Anyway, it's too late to regret. It's better to take a gamble. Maybe we can turn defeat into victory. It's a blessing in disguise. The city lord Cao Ten narrowed his eyes, then whispered seductively. What do you mean? My lord may as well just say it. I really can't figure out the answer to this mystery. Tan Xian felt that he was an honest person, he didn't understand the gaudy things. Captain Tangxuan, let me ask, you will indeed be punished by the higher authorities if you lose troops and lose generals by besieging the Guangming Academy, but if you fight bravely in the war against the invasion of the gods and fight endlessly to the death and lose troops and generals, what will the Temple of the Light Alliance say? And you? Have you thought about this question? Take control of the moment, and you may be in a hurry. If Shenkai is still present, it will only make you sink deeper and deeper. Cao Teng shrugged, and then began to seduce step by step. It has to be said that in these words and deeds, he has already grasped the key point, directly controlling Tan Xian's inner world to death. Call. Gudong. Tan Xian gritted his teeth, at the moment he was doing intense inner construction. This wave is quite surging, mixed with endless excitement. The excuse of besieging Guangming Academy and losing soldiers and generals is not justified. At that time, I am afraid that the loss of troops and the siege of Guangming Academy will be punished together. Even if he is not dead, he will be skinned. But what if we change our behavior? Maybe it's really different. It is more than words. If he damages a little soldier and horse in the fierce battle with the God Race army, it can only show his bravery and fearlessness. At that time, if the city lord Cao Teng said something nice, there would be a high probability that not only would he not be punished, but he might even be rewarded. The difference between this, as long as you are not a fool, you can basically understand it. At this moment, my mood is surging, and my thoughts are bursting. Great opportunity, don't miss it. Thank you, Lord City Master, for cultivating it. Willing to obey the command of the Lord City Master. I also hope that the City Lord can support me a lot in the future. I am grateful. Don't worry, my lord, I will definitely not have any doubts about what you tell me to do next. But speaking of it, the Protoss, shall we go there and find the heads of the Protoss as military exploits? Tan Xian's tone changed, and then he was rather puzzled. It would be really cool if this fraud was found out. So there must be some heads of the Protoss as evidence of military exploits. Don't worry about this. The Protoss has now broken the Dawn City, and is now in full swing to attack the Seven Courtyard City. The Lord of the City is going to rescue the God City of the Seventh Academy, and you can take the battle merits of the head at that time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3493. The City Lord Cao Teng waved his hand, and then said quite proudly. At this level, after all, there are still many plans of their own. For the rest, naturally there is no need to think about it. It's good to be calm, there is no need to worry. As long as Tan Xian can be controlled and he is not allowed to go to the Temple of the Alliance of Light to gossip, then there will be no problem. Generally speaking, if there is no court to come to Guangming God City, then he, the City Lord, can still do whatever he wants. The City Lord wants to rush to help the God City of the Seven Courts to fight against the Protoss. My lord, don't you send an army over to the temple. Relying on our strength. Zhang Kui, the captain of the City Guard army, was silent for a long time. Hearing this, he couldn't help but speak out. Relatively speaking, this is indeed a problem that needs a lot of attention. If you are a little careless, there are many things involved, so you have to care more. If we need to use the temple in the first wave of the Protoss attack, then what are we doing? Are we just eating? This battle must show the prestige of our bright God City. Although our bright God City has just been established, we still have to show our bravery and courage to the temple and the Pope. The City Lord Cao Teng raised his head and chest, his face flushed slightly. To put it bluntly, I just want to pretend. Before the war started, you went to the Pope for help? What a shame. At that time, His Majesty the Pope will definitely look down on him, and he will be nothing. If you want to win the favor of the Pope for a long time, you have to use your brain. Let him feel that you are loyal to him, but also have no small effect. Otherwise, such favors are ultimately only temporary. Cao Teng still has a lot of experience in the management of the Temple of the Alliance of Light for so long. At this moment, the thoughts are gathering here, and the eyes are slowly becoming erratic. This. My lord, but our troops are really short. I heard that those Protoss cultivators are extremely fierce. Anyone that can be drawn out can be compared to the elite of our city guards. Basically, they are all elite soldiers above the 3-star sanctuary realm. So, Zhang Kui, Captain Zhang of the city guards, is a more pragmatic person. From his point of view, he shouldn't engage in those fancy things. Let's do something down to earth, okay? Do you have to toss and toss? In the end, he tossed himself to pieces, and felt comfortable in his heart. What kind of crazy thinking is this? Inexplicably, I feel a little strange what is going on. Is Captain Zhang Kui having doubts about the decision of the city lord? The face of the city lord Cao Teng gradually turned cold. At this time, it is natural to show your attitude. I'm not, I didn't, I just. Zhang Kui wanted to say something more, but was interrupted by Cao Teng. Okay. Reorganize your team well. Snort. This city lord handed over the elite team to you, not for you to spoil it. Restore my combat power as soon as possible. Otherwise you, the team leader, don't do it. More than half of my team has been damaged, yet I don't even know how to reflect. The city lord Cao Teng waved his hand, looking quite disgusted. Zhang Kui, the captain of the city guard army, squirmed his lips, swallowed several mouthfuls of saliva, and wanted to say something, but in the end it all fell silent. It felt like there was nothing to say. More than half of the team was injured, can he be blamed? Your son has the order of the city lord to take us to die. Now that something happened, is it our responsibility? Zhang Kui shook his head and sighed silently. After all, there is still a gap. The city lord still has that attitude towards his own son, let alone him. They are far apart from each other. Zhang Kui was silent, and slowly backed away, not knowing what he was thinking. Bright Academy. At the moment, Guangming Academy is quite lively. Just a few days after typing, first the city guards surrounded the Guangming Academy, and then there was news that the God Clan army was about to approach the city. It can't be said to be panic, but it is natural to pay full attention to such news. After all, there are many levels involved, and if you are a little careless, you may substitute yourself into it. What should I do? The army of the gods is coming. It is said that it only took 1 day to conquer the city of Dawn. At that time, the demigod dean of Daybreak College was also there, but he couldn't hold on. Hey, now it is said that we have launched an attack on the god city of the 7th Academy. Once the god city of the 7th Academy is broken, it will be our turn. I thought that when I came to the territory of the gods, I would be able to practice at a very high speed, and the good days would come. I didn't expect this to be the beginning of bad luck. Who can tell clearly? The current situation is very complicated. The situation is a bit broken. I can't stand it, I really can't stand it. Do you think we should go back? Although cultivating in the territory of the gods will get twice the result with half the effort, but those Protoss cultivators are not easy to provoke. Just like us, going up is basically delivering food. It's like who doesn't know about this situation? But the key is what can you do? Can you beat a Protoss cultivator? You will be crushed in minutes. What will happen then? It should be clear how high the risk factor is. I feel dangerous, too dangerous. Well, that's what you said. From now on, it's not easy to control. I don't know what the Deputy Palace Master thinks. Don't think about it so much, we little ones. Let the Deputy Palace Master and the others worry about this kind of thing. Let's do whatever the deputy palace master asks us to do. The sky is falling, and there is a tall one holding it up. Before Cao Man led the army to surround the Guangming Academy, Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the palace, was not alarmed, but the news that the Protoss army was about to attack was too critical, so Gao Song, the dean of the God of War Academy, had no choice but to activate the general summons, and sent all the students who were retreating in the Guangming Academy. The instructor basically woke up. A group of teachers gathered together. Some students were also called together because of their special status and strength. On the high seat, the two deputy masters of Guangming Academy sat on the seats. Deputy Palace Master Shui Wanren is an old acquaintance, so he has nothing to introduce. There is also a middle-aged beautiful woman named Wu Meiling as the deputy head of the palace. Fang Fan, something is wrong. Why does this beautiful deputy palace master keep looking at my position? Damn it, it's not me that's in the picture, is it? This can't work. Although this beauty deputy palace master is very beautiful, but this age group does not match. Hey, besides, I'm not the kind of person who likes to eat soft food. My stomach has always been good, so I don't need to eat soft rice. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3494. Bai Biao blinked, then said very distressed. Everyone has delusions of one kind or another in their lives. Just like in front of me, somehow I feel gaudy. That's it? Play with hammer. Nothing. Chi Chi Wei Wei is quite energetic. But in the end, nothing. Brother Bai Biao's words are a bit rough, but it seems that the deputy palace master Wu Meiling is really looking towards us. I think it should be to see Brother Fang Fan. After all, Brother Fang Fan's popularity has also risen now, which is more in line with common sense. Brothers, how do you feel? You feel a little bit, is this the case? I think that's the case. Zhuo Qiuyao pondered for a while, and then proposed the corresponding possibility. I have to say that what he said seems to be quite true. In every aspect, there is a sense of truth. The rest of the people nodded their heads, thinking that this really seemed to be the case. Fang Fan. Aren't you thinking too much? You can take a closer look. The Vice Master Wu Meiling's gaze should focus on, Master. Fang Fan glanced at Tai Shiji, who was standing aside, and couldn't help but yelled out. Good guy. Now it feels so real. Fang Fan didn't notice anything at first, but suddenly he felt that this cheap master's eyes were averted, and his expression was a little unnatural. Master, what's going on? You have a problem. Is there a situation between you and this mentor Wu Meiling? There was a period between you. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, inexplicably ignited the fire of gossip. Look, very surprised. No. There is no situation. Don't talk nonsense. That's not the case. Tai Shiji suddenly blushed, and his eyes dodged more frequently. Now any fool can see that something is wrong. Good guy. Master, you can. I thought you were a combat lunatic before, but I didn't expect you to have a lot of affairs. It's fine to have an affair with the wife of the deputy head of the Yuanxi Academy. Now I have another affair with this beautiful deputy palace master. Bai Biao has always been the one who likes to do things the most. Hearing this is called a surge of excitement. While talking, he nodded quickly, the joy in his eyes was beyond words. After this wave, the feeling took off directly. Inexplicably touched. The more you look at it, the more exciting it becomes, and the more you look at it, the more interesting it becomes. Interesting, so interesting. You kid, tell me the door. What has a leg but no leg? Not to that point. Don't talk nonsense. Grand Uncle G gritted his teeth, and gave Bai Biao a vicious look. This guy likes to talk nonsense. I just like to talk shit. Can it still work? How far is that? Master. If you don't make it clear, how can I know? Hey. Speaking of which, it's nothing. Understand. Completely understand. Understood. Fully understood. Could it be that it's a mess from beginning to end? Or do you want to change your mind? Or is it the contemporary Chen Shimei? Abandoned his wife and son. Bai Biao raised her eyebrows, her mind was racing. That bitch Sissy looks like she just wants to beat her up. Damn it. Stop talking. Lao Zi just watched her take a bath. The rest has nothing to do with labor and capital. Uncle G's werewolf blew himself up. Good guy. This is so crazy. Even Fang Fan was taken aback. My master, do you still have such a past? Once the sea was too difficult for water. What has this been through? Master, you're a little fierce. Be a little more restrained. That's the deputy palace master after all. Cough. It's easy to get into trouble. Fang Fan's body trembled slightly, and then he raised his eyebrows, feeling a lot of emotion inexplicably. This time, I was really surprised again. This behavior is really strong. In all aspects of this, one can tell at a glance that it is not something ordinary people can do. Momentary oppression. Instant crush. I go. Isn't this old and immoral? Master, how can you do this? Then it's over. You have offended that deputy palace master Wu Meiling terribly. If she finds out that we are your apprentices in the future, she will not have to toss her to death. No, I want to sever the master-student relationship with you. Bai Biao is good at making things happen, so he hurriedly said with a look of excitement. In all aspects, things started to happen again. Anyway, it won't stop for a moment. Continuously, there are still so many things, messing around. Inexplicably, I felt my brain split open. That's it? How to play? If you can't hold on, they will all be finished. Piss off. At that time, it was just an accident. I didn't mean to. I accidentally fell asleep in the pool. Who knew that this woman would secretly come to take a shower, and I didn't hear anything. By the time I wake up, it's already too late. Hey, just a few things. How many years have passed? At that time, she was still a yellow-haired girl. At that time, she wasn't even a saint. I didn't expect that as time passed, she would become a demigod. And even got into the position of Deputy Mansion Master of Guangming Academy. In such a comparison, I have failed too much. Uncle G curled his lips, and then started making complaints about himself secretly. Speaking of which, it's not that the Deputy Palace Master Wu Meiling didn't want to trouble you, but simply didn't have the strength to trouble you. Then I understand instantly. Wipe. Good guy. Now that he has accumulated strength and risen with one move, he will definitely suppress you. Master, you have to be careful, maybe someone will do it if you don't pay attention. It's too awful. Bai Biao was afraid that the world would not be chaotic. While talking, he nodded in agreement. Uncle G. Outlaws. Don't worry, if something happens to me, I will definitely take you away first. Our master and apprentice are deeply in love. Uncle G curled his lips, and directly dragged Bai Biao into the water. Bai Biao's face collapsed. It's okay if you don't bring such a trick. I don't think this looks like revenge. Master, why do I feel that the Vice Palace Master Wu Meiling has affection for you? Master, is your image of a bad old man so popular? Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then expressed his speculation. Relatively speaking, Fang Fan felt that what he said was well-founded. Observing a little more carefully, One can clearly feel the love in the beautiful eyes of the beautiful deputy palace master. Fang Fan could see it, and he didn't believe Tai Shuji couldn't see it. Uncle Ji fell silent suddenly, his eyes subconsciously looked aside, and he didn't know what he was thinking. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3495. Once the sea was too difficult for water. All of that past can completely end with it. From the beginning to the present, we have ushered in a lot of good things. But these beauties are slowly hidden with the silence of the years. Everyone, be safe and don't be impatient. Shui Wanren, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, groaned, and then swept his sharp eyes around. Although it is said that there is a middle-aged beautiful woman, Wu Meiling, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy this time, but even among the deputy heads, there is a special order. For example, Shui Wanren can be regarded as the first deputy palace master of Guangming Academy. In the absence of the palace master, he basically coordinates many things up and down in Guangming Academy. The authority is there, which has already revealed some identity and status. Others can basically see it very clearly. Relatively speaking, the deputy palace master Wu Meiling still had to follow Shui Wanren's overall guidance. Of course, Shui Wanren did not have the power to give absolute orders to him. I think you all want to know why you were called here. That's right. Just as you imagined. This time it's for the invasion of the Protoss. This matter is big or small. If you talk about it in a small way, for the time being, those Protoss troops are still a long way away from our Guangming God City, and it seems that they don't have much to do with us. After all, we must be safe for a few days. But in a few days, after these few days of quiet life, what awaits us will only be killing again and again. I believe you all know exactly what it will look like by then. Many of you here should have fought those God race people with real knives and guns. You should know what kind of existence they are. If you haven't woken up until now, then I can only say that in the end, you will regret to the extreme. In order to stifle all dangers at the source, I decided to rush to the aid of the God City of Seven Courts. The Divine City of the Seven Courts is the gateway to our bright Divine City. As long as the Divine City of the Seven Courts is guarded, the bright Divine City will be safe. Conversely, if the Divine City of the Seventh Academy is also captured by the Protoss, then we really can only fight those Protoss practitioners face to face. At that time, don't talk about using these sacred soil resources to practice. I'm afraid whether it can be said by then is another matter. Shui Wanren frowned, becoming more serious as he spoke. This is no small matter. If something really happens, it will affect the future of the entire bright God City. Deputy Palace Master, it seems that this is out of our control. The mission of our Guangming Academy is to cultivate the favored Son of Heaven. Isn't it the City Lord's Mansion's business to protect the safety of the city? What are we doing in it? People don't necessarily appreciate it. Fu Jing, Vice President of the Priest Academy, curled her lips, looking very disapproving. I thought something big had happened. So bringing everyone together. Now it seems that this is it. That's all. As for tossing and tossing? In every way, there is no need for that. Vice President Fu Jing. There are dead eggs under the overturned nest. I don't need to say more about this truth, do I? I thought it would be an ignorant student who raised the question. After all, they haven't stepped out of Guangming Academy, and they haven't experienced this complicated world, so it's normal to have doubts. But I really didn't expect that it would be the senior vice president of our Guangming Academy. Deputy President Fu Jing, why did you make such remarks? I hope you will reflect on yourself. Think about it carefully. Why did you change from the dean to the deputy dean? Now I feel that you don't even have the consciousness to be the deputy dean. If the vice president of a college has this attitude, How can we educate the students? Very disappointed. To be honest, I'm really disappointed. Shui Wanren's expression suddenly turned cold, and while he was talking, the coldness on his face was beyond words. This is purely a scolding from the heart. No. It's not like that. Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, opened her mouth, and her face looked particularly ugly at the moment. She just said a few words casually, as for saying so much. This is clearly because he can't understand her, so he took her for surgery. Isn't it the old lady who once treated your precious son-in-law Fang Fan harshly? How? Now that you have a chance, you can beat my wife well. Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, clenched her fists subconsciously. There must be a lot of resentment in her heart, but slowly she shrank her neck. To live is true. The rest of those that are not there seem to be unnecessary. That is the deputy palace master. What's the need to argue with him about what's there or what's not? Nothing. Call. The first level of officialdom crushes people to death. Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, was filled with endless resentment. For it. Deputy Palace Master, how should we arrange it? From your point of view, it seems that there is already a plan. It is our duty to fight against the Protoss. Once the Protoss army is approaching the city, we will not be able to practice with peace of mind. Sima Zhen, the super tutor of the God of War Academy, patted his chest, and then promised to follow along. In front of the Protoss, everyone naturally has to share the same hatred, otherwise, wouldn't they be taken advantage of by others? Very good. I think what instructor Sima Zhen said is very insightful. Actually, I know that everyone has such insights, but most of the time we are too lazy to say it. But what I want to tell you is that this time, it must be said out loud. You may think that the God City of the 7th Academy was established by the 7 academies of the neutral camp. What does it have to do with our Guangming Academy? They are not in the same camp as us. What I want to say is that in front of the Protoss, there is no difference between us. We are a tight union with each other. If I haven't even figured out this point, no matter how much I want to say, it will be meaningless and worthless. No matter what attitude the Bright City of God has, I have already decided to lead the mentors and students of the Bright Academy to the God City of the 7th Academy. Of course, the battle this time is entirely voluntary. Every word and deed is the most authentic gesture. To be blunt, all words follow and gather in an all-round way. As for the other ones that are there or not, all of them have already come to an end. After all, isn't that the case? Shui Wanren looked at everyone expectantly. At this moment, he also needs a wave of support. At least in my heart, I can be more motivated. But it is obvious that many mentors and students have changed their expressions when they heard about the Protoss. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3496. They have a natural sense of resistance to the Protoss. Not to mention taking the initiative to attack, I am afraid that these Protoss cultivators will start to have weak calves and prepare to escape when they arrive here. We are all ordinary people. Facing the strong, there is a natural fear. Of course, some people were inexplicably excited. Immediately felt the opportunity came. Grasp the opportunity and take off directly. Fang Fan, a first-year student of the God of War Academy, requests to fight as a vanguard. Willing to fight for the Guangming Academy. Fang Fan stood up and said expectantly. This is really not to stand up and pretend. This is all out of Fang Fan's most sincere wish. To Fang Fan, A god cultivator represents the fragments of the god stone and the fountain of life. And the fragments of the god stone and the fountain of life represent the star core. Fang Fan now has an indescribable desire for the star core. To grow his legion, he needs a star core. He wants many advanced and practical cards in the card auction system, but the premise is that he has enough bidding capital. This pile of piles is so exciting. Existences such as the fragments of the god stone and the spring of life are basically the exclusive offerings of those gods. It is basically invisible to practitioners of light and darkness, including those from the neutral camp. Fighting against practitioners of the dark camp, the rate of return is too low. How can there be a high return to fight against the Protoss cultivators? You boy! Give me a break. After Shui Wanren saw Fang Fan, he couldn't help but rolled his eyes. He is very clear about Fang Fan's temperament. Before that, Fang Fan had been thinking about pretending to be a spy to spy on the Protoss. Of course, Shui Wanren didn't agree because he felt it was too dangerous. Now seeing this kid again, I can't help but want to complain. When others saw the Protoss cultivator, they wished they could run away immediately. This guy, seeing a Protoss cultivator is like seeing his own wife, and he wants to rush over excitedly. This gaudy feeling immediately intensified. Invisibly, I feel my brain is buzzing. That's it? Play with hammer. Just, nothing. I can't hold back mentally. In terms of feeling, it swept directly. Didn't the Deputy Palace Master just want us to summon him? How? Now that I have answered the call, the Deputy Palace Master started to suppress again. That's it? Fang Fan curled his lips, poking and complaining secretly. Anyone else is fine. As long as you go, you're sure to keep going. It was enough to guard the god city of the 7th Academy for a few days, but the Protoss army saw that it was difficult to conquer, so they naturally retreated. But if you let your kid pass by, what's the deal? What will it turn into at that time? Don't you have any points in your heart? In case you kill some young master and saintess of the Protoss, they will have to fight us desperately. Shui Wanren raised his eyebrows, and then began to predict in God again. Fang Fan. As for what? I wholeheartedly want to fight against the Protoss and relieve the pressure on Guangming Academy, so how can I be maliciously speculated? Are you Tai Shiji's disciple? Really? It's exactly the same as when he was young. The same distinctive personality. All of a sudden, Wu Meiling, the beautiful deputy head of the palace, suddenly spoke. While looking at Fang Fan, he couldn't help but glance at Tai Shiji. Tai Shiji, who is fearless and fearless, feels inexplicably embarrassed at this moment, and his eyes can't help looking around. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, inexplicably feeling a lot of fun, and this bad taste seemed very strong. In the depths of my heart, there was still a surge of excitement. Feelings are bursting out in an all-round way. Cough. Fang Fan coughed twice, his gaze gradually became erratic. Chi Fufu Palace Master Wu, Grand Uncle Ji is indeed my master. If it's not enough, what's the relationship between Vice Palace Master Wu and my master? I seem to vaguely remember that he seemed to say that you are the person in his heart. Fang Fan said seriously, and the atmosphere of the audience immediately exploded. Good guy. What a good guy. There is no room for what I said. It directly blocked the back road. Uncle Ji shook his hand and almost slapped Bai Biao to death. I thought Bai Biao was a villain, but I didn't expect Fang Fan to hide so deeply. A villain. A complete villain. How easy is it to say? Hufu, I can't stand it, I can't stand it. What kind of bastard is this? Oh shit. While Tai Shiji was talking, the black lines on his forehead grew more and more, and his eyeballs kept turning. Clap clap. Every time Tai Shiji complained, he couldn't help but pat Bai Biao's shoulder with his palm. Bai Biao is in dire straits at the moment. Ah, Ah, no. Don't bring such fun. That kid Fang Fan offended you, why are you filming me? My shoulder is about to shatter. I'll hum it. This can't work. It's too difficult for me. Bai Piao rolled his eyes, the eyeballs kept rolling, feeling inexplicably wronged. A nest of two thieves is not a good thing. Oh shit. It's over now. Everybody is staring at me. Is this the end of my wise life? Call. Taishiji's face was dark, and his brain felt a little sore for no reason. Too difficult. Naturally, there are also discussions around. There is a relationship between Taishiji's tutor and Wu Meiling's deputy palace master. Grand Uncle Ji's tutor, Niobe, are you going to show your love openly through the mouth of your apprentice? These two, do they seem to have nothing to do with each other? Even if there is an intersection, is it possible to tell you? Do you think it is possible? What do you mean? Could it be that these two people really had an affair? Some things are hard to say, but it doesn't mean they don't exist. I seem to have heard that Vice Palace Master Wu seems to have approached Taishiji's mentor several times. He was still very aggressive at the time. I thought they had some grudges. Hey. I'm familiar with this scene. Tisk. Familiar formula, familiar everything. This is very interesting. Tisk tisk tisk, is it still like this? Anyway, it's quite interesting now. There is so much splendor in it. Not bad, very good. There were more discussions around him, and his mood took off in an all-round way at this moment. The more I talked, the more excited I became, the more I talked. The days of cultivation are very boring. In such a boring life, it is natural to seek some comfort. Being able to eat melons from the beautiful deputy palace master and the undead mentor Taishiji will keep it sweet every minute. The audience was extremely noisy. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3497. The face of Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, was a little dark. The rhythm was successfully taken away. What is the original intention of everyone coming here? That is to jointly discuss the business of fighting against the Protoss. Well now, all of them have become gossip parties. Shui Wanren couldn't help but glared in Fang Fan's direction. This guy has no good intentions. Whenever a normal thing is disturbed by him, there will be some problems. The public said that Taishiji's sweetheart was Wu Meiling's deputy head. Isn't this inciting contradictions? After a lot of difficulty, Wu Meiling, the deputy head of the palace, came out to help fight against the Protoss, and now he wants to directly offend them to the end. Call. Shui Wanren glanced at Wu Meiling, who was at the side, and found that the beautiful deputy palace master was silent. Shui Wanren's heart skipped a beat. Over. It's over. Must be angry. This drama is too familiar. All kinds of things involved in it will be immediately clear after a little follow-up. Lianglianjiao Guang is fully practicing to the end. Nothing. And wipe this kid's ass. Shui Wanren immediately looked at Wu Meiling with an apologetic smile. Vice Palace Master Wu, Tong Yanwuji. That's just a first-year student, not sensible yet. Well, don't take it to heart. Shui Wanren was going to smooth things over. Ft. Wu Meiling suddenly laughed out loud. Shui Wanren. Am I talking so funny? Immediately confused, okay. That's it? Why does it feel so strange? Inexplicably, I felt my brain buzzing. I don't know what to say anymore. Silently silent in the heart, the state of mind is directly floating. This kid talks, I love to listen. Wu Meiling, the beauty deputy head of the Guangming Academy, stood up suddenly, and then smiled as before. She strode down a few steps, then glanced at Fang Fan several times. The more she looked at her, the happier she became. Can talk. This unicorn soft armor was worn by me back then, so I gave it to you as a meeting gift. In the future, if you meet a girl you like, you can give it to her. But don't be like your master, who will be a boring gourd for the rest of his life. Wu Meiling gritted her silver teeth, and then handed over a top-notch holy-level unicorn inner armor. Giving such an expensive gift as soon as they meet is already extraordinary to some extent. And the last sentence seems to have some meaning of complaining about Tai Shiji inside and outside. Fang Fan understood instantly. It seems that his previous speculation was correct. The beautiful deputy palace master really has interest in his cheap master Uncle Ji. Listening to the complaints of the beautiful deputy palace master, it is probably because Tai Shuja has been unwilling to reveal his meaning. Probably, as long as Tai Shuja nodded, basically lovers would eventually get married. Fang Fan smiled silently, and couldn't help but glance at his master. He didn't expect that his master's charm was really good. Without making a fuss, he snatched the heart of the beautiful deputy palace master away. "Thank you, Vice Palace Master Wu." Fang Fan nodded, but did not refuse. Bestowed by the elders, dare not resign. In front of so many people, since the beautiful deputy palace master showed it, it must be sincere. If you refuse, it is not beautiful. Cultivate well. If you have any questions about cultivation, you can also ask me. Wu Meiling, the beautiful deputy head of the palace, nodded and said a few words casually. Suddenly, a sound transmission came to Fang Fan's mind. "If you don't mind, you can call me Shi Niang." Wu Meiling covered her mouth and left with a smile. Fang Fan froze in place, his head buzzing. "Good guy, this game is exciting." Cough. Let's continue to enter the topic. Today's main topic is to help the God City of the 7th Academy. Back on track. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, shrugged helplessly, and quickly got to the point. Report. Vice Palace Master. City Lord Cao Tang, please see me. The guard outside the door hurried forward to report. Shui Wanren frowned, looking a little strange. What did he come to see me for? Could it be because of the God Race Army? Please. Shui Wanren nodded and said hastily. Etc. Vice Palace Master, wait a moment. Deputy Palace Master, maybe it's not because of the Protoss. This city Lord Cao Teng is most likely here to ask Xingxi for his crimes. Gao Song, the dean of the Ares Academy, let out a foul breath, and then said hastily. Xingxi asked the crime. What's the meaning? Where did he get the guts to question our Guangming Academy Xingxi? Even if I borrowed 100 courage from him, I wouldn't dare. No, Dean Gao Song, why did you say that? Did something happen? During the few days of my retreat, something happened to Guangming Academy. Shui Wanren was stunned for a moment, and instantly heard Gao Song's implication. For it. Yes, something happened. But fortunately it's all resolved. This matter, Gao Song, the dean of the Ares Academy, suddenly became hesitant. Clearly there is something to this. Some things are hard to say. It's like playing a small advertisement. Hurry up. What's going on? What? Do you still want to lie to me? Shui Wanren shouted angrily, and said directly. No. Why? It was Cao Tang, the son of the city lord Cao Tang, who had his arms cut off. Thousands of elite city guards were killed and wounded. The 34th Squadron of the Bright Army sent by the Pope to protect the city lord Cao Tang was almost destroyed. Probably these things. Gao Song shrugged, couldn't help but glanced at Fang Fan's direction, then showed helplessness, and then shook everything. Shui Wanren. Looking for excitement? He has been in seclusion for the past few days, and there are still many things. That's their own business. What does it have to do with our Guangming Academy? Wouldn't all these things have something to do with our Guangming Academy? Was it the student tutors of our Guangming Academy who did it? Fang Fan. Shui Wanren immediately focused his attention on Fang Fan. After thinking about it, this guy is the only one who has the courage and practical ability. Good guy. Is this going on again? The sense of bells and whistles is getting stronger and stronger. What exactly do you want to do? Fang Fan. Tell me honestly, did you do it all? Your master and I have only retreated for a few days. Just make these things. I predicted at the beginning that you might kill that Cao man. I'm admonishing and admonishing. Shui Wanren's lips trembled, he was speechless. So I didn't kill him, didn't I cut off both arms as a warning? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and then spoke uprightly. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3498. This, shouldn't be a problem, right? That said, it is very reasonable. Shui Wanren opened his mouth, but he really couldn't find anything to complain about at the moment. Because there is indeed some truth to what I said. The sense of bells and whistles in it gathered together invisibly. Feeling it a little bit at this moment, my brain is buzzing. Does the Deputy Palace Master still have to thank you? Is that the case? Where there is your kid, there will be no rest. I've completely understood now. Shui Wanren sighed with emotion and had nothing to say. At this juncture, such a thing happened. What will happen in the future? This may even affect the overall situation of fighting against the Protoss. Deputy Palace Master, what you said is a bit biased. It's as if it's deliberately targeting me. I followed your instructions in all aspects. No matter what, you can't lose your face, can you? Back when Cao Man led the city guards to surround Guangming Academy, I also fought to defend Guangming Academy. Well, after all, not everyone is qualified to make a move on Guangming Academy. As Fang Fan spoke, he held his head up and chest out, and the sharp light in his eyes gleamed. What? That brat Cao Man dares to lead troops to surround my Guangming Academy. Hateful. Is there such a thing? It looks like he was the one who found fault first. Disciple. This time you really did something wrong. For this kind of delivery to your door, why do you hesitate? Wouldn't it be better to just kill him? Where is that brat? I'm going to kill him now. Tai Shiji waved his hand, and while talking, the arrogance on his face was beyond words, and his feelings burst out in full force. This gesture is vividly displayed. As for the other ones that have nothing, nothing. What do you care about? It doesn't make any sense at all. There was a sudden commotion in the audience. Like a teacher, there must be a disciple. No wonder Fang Fan cut off the young city lord's arm so indifferently. Co-authored, and a more irritable master. In the name of the necromancer, you can't be deceived. You are still as reckless as before. How many years? It's still the same. It's not good to be like this in front of your disciples. Wu Meiling, the beautiful deputy head of the palace, stared wide-eyed, and couldn't help but blamed while talking. Needless to say about other things for the time being, this gesture is quite in place. As for the rest, there is no need to care too much. If someone else had said that, Tai Shuja would probably have directly pissed him off. But this time, he seemed rather silent, and even had a naive smile on his face. Cao. Why do I feel like the iron tree is blooming? It's cold, my master may really fall into it. I will have a teacher's wife later. Bai Piao raised her eyebrows, then couldn't help rubbing her hands aside and said. The corner of Taishiji's mouth twitched. This scoundrel really wanted to slap him to death. But after thinking about it, I held back. It's not easy to do it in a large crowd, and My Ling is still watching there, so the image must be there. Okay. Stop talking about it. Think about helping the God City of the 7th Academy. I hope you can all sign up voluntarily. I'm going to meet with City Lord Cao Teng to discuss this matter. Shui Wanren frowned, then said directly. Immediately afterwards, he seemed to think of something, and then focused his attention on Fang Fan. You come with me. Shui Wanren called directly by name. Fang Fan seemed a little surprised. Yes. Who are you? The city guards besieged Guangming Academy, we must figure it out. Since their city lord's mansion dares to do this, the deputy palace master will naturally seek justice for you. Snort. Bullying me at Guangming Academy when I was retreating. The city lord's mansion is really beautiful. Shui Wanren gritted his teeth, a fierce light flashed in his eyes. Shui Wanren walked in front, Fang Fan followed behind. Uncle Ji followed secretly. Don't worry, apprentice, this time will definitely make the city lord's mansion overwhelmed. That Cao Teng has no way to teach his son, this time I will educate him well. Tai Shiji clenched his fists, and then there was a sound of bone explosions, and there was a strong sense of shock invisibly. You also give me a break. Don't fight and kill at every turn. I see why you are more irritable than usual today. Is it because of the appearance of Deputy Palace Master Wu Meiling? Before, Deputy Palace Master Wu Meiling always wanted to occupy you, but you didn't respond. Why do you want to show it so much now? Shui Wanren frowned, and suddenly remembered that there was indeed a small period of grievances and enmities between Lai Taishiji and Wu Meiling. Occupy. This. Master, you haven't lost anything, have you? Fang Fan glanced at Taishiji, somewhat surprised. What are you looking at? It's not as dirty as you think. That's not the case at all. The situation at that time, well, very complicated. Forget it, don't talk about it, it's all right. Uncle Ji waved his hand, the past is unbearable. Soon, Shui Wanren brought Fang Fan and Taishiji to the hall of the school. In the eyes, the figure of Cao Teng, the lord of Guangming God City, appeared in front of everyone. In addition, there are a few attendants beside him. His son Cao Man also followed him. When Cao Man saw Fang Fan, his eyes instantly turned blood red. Enemy. This is the enemy. Ah! Mentality exploded. As soon as he saw Fang Fan, he could think of the humiliation he had suffered before. Die! Die! Fang Fan! It's him! It's him! Kill him! Revenge! Revenge! Cao Man's lips trembled, followed by a growl, his eyes instantly turned blood red, and he was about to rush towards him. The attendant standing aside quickly pulled him back. Evil! What are you messing around with? The roar followed, and the city lord Cao Teng's face looked extremely ugly. When you came here, you said it was good, why are you sick again now? Don't know what the mission is this time? Father! It's Fang Fan. You don't know what he did to me. You do it quickly. Hurry up and kill him. He must be killed. Death. He must die. Ah! I can't take it, can't take it. Get rid of him. You must get rid of him. I'm so sick. I'm in so much pain. Father! What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Who? Die. Damn thing. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3499. Cao Man's emotions rushed to the extreme. During the roar, the violent tremors of the body also increased. At this moment, he was crying and his head was buzzing. I don't know what to say now. It felt like all the words were stuck in my throat and I couldn't speak. I don't know what to say, and I don't want to say anything. I was very confused, and very hesitant. Nothing. Lianglianjiao Egwang is fully practicing to the end. Everything. Burst it? Go to hell. Snapped. In the end, it was a big mouth that made him sober. He looked at everything around him in a daze, and subconsciously swallowed a mouthful of saliva, still looking a little dumb at the moment. Are you awake? Who did you scold just now? I still don't know what to say. It seems that I really spoiled you. Let you know no temperance at all now. Snored. Give me a good rest. Don't give me those things that are not there. How dare you be so rude in front of Deputy Palace Master Shui of Guangming Academy? Snapped. Clap clap. The city lord Cao Ten never softened his hand at all. As he spoke, the sneer on his face gradually increased, and the sense of tyranny in his eyes gathered in an all-round way. With every gesture, Cao Man's heart was surging. There is no need to care about the others. He. Why is City Lord Cao Ten here? They're all young people. It's normal to be a little angry. I don't know why City Lord Cao Ten came here this time. Shui Wanren raised his eyebrows, and then said sideways. Originally, he wanted to go to Xingxi to inquire about the crime, but no matter what, it was a fact that the city guards besieged Guangming Academy. In this matter, Guangming Academy takes the absolute initiative. But as soon as he came in, he saw the city lord Cao Teng slapping his son Cao Man frantically. In fact, invisible, it is showing weakness. If you continue to ask questions, it will appear a little aggressive. Some things, just understand each other. Why? I'm here to apologize. Deputy Palace Master Shui, I have no way to teach my son. Before, my stupid son actually brought the city guards to besiege the Guangming Academy, which caused a great impact on everyone in the Guangming Academy. This is my negligence. I've already educated him severely. I hope that Vice Palace Master Shui will have a large number, so don't worry about it. This matter is purely a nulong. It was a complete accident. I didn't instigate this villain to use the city guards and the 34th Squadron of the Bright Army, and I only found out later. After I found out about this, I immediately punished him comprehensively. Hey, after all, it's all my fault. The city lord, Cao Ten, was ashamed, and he was on the verge of tears as he spoke. This picture is simply not too strong. Shui Wanren froze on the spot, his face was numb at the moment. Good guy, what kind of routine is this? Why can't he understand this routine? This is Cao Teng, the hypocritical and shameless city lord of Guangming God City he knew. This. I always feel like a different person, could it be that I was taken away? Temperament changes overnight. The grand uncle G at the side originally wanted to seek justice for his apprentice, but at the moment he couldn't express his anger. People are extremely humble, how can they oppress them? I always feel that the breath is hanging in my throat and I can't let it go. Invisibly, it seems absolutely amazing. A wave of predictions is in place. Your city lord's mansion has indeed gone too far this time. Fortunately, it didn't cause too much bad impact. Everything is still under control. Shui Wanren nodded, but didn't say much, but expressed a corresponding attitude frankly. For the rest, just hang on. In terms of mentality, you should also take it easy. Now is the time for the bigger picture. Yes. Call. Thank you, Vice Palace Master Xue, for your understanding. Why? After saying that, my heart is much more open. Cough. Then what? Actually, I have another thing to do this time. Hey, I don't know if I should talk about it or not. To be honest, I'm really embarrassed to speak. The city lord Cao Teng rolled his eyes, and gradually began to see pictures. This. Inexplicably there is a sense of bells and whistles. If there is no problem in this, no one else will believe it. There is something in the words. Xue Wanren understood instantly. No wonder he acted so humble before, because he wanted something from others. It's true, nature is hard to change. Tell me. What's up? Xue Wanren shrugged, wanting to pay attention to the further comprehensive development. Just, there are indeed some things. Deputy Palace Master Xue should have known about the invasion of the Protoss. Cough, in order to defend the Divine City of Light, I intend to send city guards to assist the Divine City of the Seven Courts. After all, the Divine City of the Seventh Academy can be regarded as our basic line of defense. At 1:7, the Divine City of the Seventh Academy is broken, and our Guangming Divine City will face the army of the Protoss directly. So I mean, should I rush to help or should I rush to help? As the city lord Cao Teng spoke, his expression changed very realistically. In a few words, his eyes subconsciously dodged for a while, and his sense of expressive thinking appeared to be very strong. So what does city lord Cao Teng mean? What is the purpose of coming to me? Xue Wanren raised his eyebrows. Unexpectedly, his thoughts coincided with each other. Originally, Xue Wanren was worried that Cao Teng would not send troops, but he didn't expect this guy to be so stupid. On the contrary, this guy is now worried that Guangming Academy will not support it. In the past, they had doubts about each other, but now they both have the intention of sending troops, so it is easier to deal with all aspects. How to deal with it, in fact, everyone has a point in their hearts. Xue Wanren knew the bottom line of the city lord Cao Teng in advance, so he was able to gain a foothold in an invincible position. Only by controlling the moment can we follow suit and take off. Why? Deputy Palace Master Xue, you are also a straightforward person. I won't beat around the bush with you. That's what happened. I hope that Guangming Academy can dispatch some mentor students to go out with our city guards. Cough. I know this request may be excessive, but for the sake of the overall situation. It hasn't been long since the establishment of the Bright God City. So the scale of the city guard army has not developed. There are even fewer commanding officers with high cultivation. I'm determined to kill the thief now, but I can't get back to heaven. Only the many knights from Guangming Academy can help us. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Xu Yu. Chapter 3500. Ask someone to help, the attitude must be good. After all, Cao Teng, the lord of the city, is also a character on the scene, and these details are still very well controlled. While talking at the moment, there is light in the eyes gradually. If Guangming Academy rejects him, he will really sit on wax. It's really hard to be the city lord. Now that he has enjoyed the glory of being a city lord, he needs to bear the endless pressure to a certain extent. When these oppressions came, I could only grit my teeth and persist. In the end, you must also stabilize your mentality. The rest of those who are missing, it seems that you don't need to care about it. Just, nothing. No need to think about it at all. In fact, it is quite normal for Guangming Academy to choose to refuse now. From Cao Teng's point of view, he had indeed suppressed Guangming Academy before, and even forced him to be near the city wall when choosing the site. There is more or less selfishness in this heart. In addition, his evil son led an army to surround Guangming Academy. Each of these piles can be regarded as a kind of oppression and threat to a certain extent. 1. The uneasy Cao-10 trembled slightly with his arms. Now I want to continue to slap my son Cao man in the face with a big mouth. What the hell will add to the chaos? We, Guangming Academy, are duty-bound to help the God City of the 7th Academy. Even if you don't come now, Lord Cao-10, I will definitely lead the mentors and students from Guangming Academy. It's a matter of the overall situation, and I, Guangming Academy, will never hold back. Just now I was holding a pre-war mobilization meeting. Hee, City Lord Cao-10 doesn't have to worry about our Guangming Academy. At that time, I will naturally bring the elite of Guangming Academy to guard the 7th Academy God City in person. In the face of the threat of the God Race Army, all grievances will be invisible. Shui Wanren gritted his teeth, and then said sonorously and forcefully, the brilliance in his eyes flashed all over his words, and his thoughts burst out suddenly. Don't care about the rest of those who have or don't have one, just be careful. At this moment, there is even an overwhelming sense of oppression sweeping over, which makes people feel trembling. Deputy Palace Master Shui, is this a promise? This. It's just that I'm too small. The City Lord Cao-10 opened his mouth, inexplicably feeling a little bitter. Now it seems like a villain? Just that kind of feeling, inexplicably irritating. Then set off tomorrow morning. Sooner rather than later. It's too late to change. The City Lord Cao-10 hurriedly said that he was afraid that something might happen. Let's go tonight. Going early is good for stabilizing the overall situation. In the evening, gather in front of the North City Gate. Shui Wanren waved his hand, directly establishing the situation. So natural at its best. Then see you there. This City Lord still has a lot of things to deal with, so I'm leaving first. Thank you, Vice Palace Master Shui, for your understanding. Cao-10 nodded silently, feeling more or less relaxed at the moment. After all, the overall situation was stabilized. Whenever something unexpected happens, this brain will explode. As long as Guangming Academy is willing to send out elites, then his pressure will be much less. As long as the God Race Army is blocked from the God City of the 7 Courts, everything will be expected. Otherwise, there will only be many changes. Obviously, it can't stand any unexpected changes now. Before leaving, the young City Lord Cao man was still full of resentment. Die. Die. Why not kill him? Kill. Kill him directly. Damn. Damn. Bastards. All are bastards. Ah. Crash. The mentality is broken. You bastard. They're all bastards. Get out. Get out. Get out. I want to hate. I hate. Now the young City Lord Cao-10 seems a little mentally abnormal. From time to time, some inappropriate words will be said. Listening to it, I felt that this guy might really have some problems with his brain. Normal people are unlikely to say such nonsensical words. Wouldn't you like to stop for a while? Do you have to toss and toss? Does that make you feel refreshed? In the end, isn't it still going to be completely terminated? Stop the mouth of this evil bastard. Take it back and break your legs. Don't let him run out to make trouble. The City Lord Cao-10 frowned, then spoke in a high-pitched manner. In front of everyone in the Optical Module Academy, it is natural to show some attitude. Of course, Cao-10 was really upset with his son at this moment. Stupidity is not a star and a half. Can't you take it easy? Do you have to go back and forth on this matter? Will you feel happy in this way? Poisonous. It's so poisonous. I don't even know what's going on in my head. Garbage to the extreme. Now inexplicably want to complain. If it weren't for this melon boy who was really his own son, CAO-10 would have wanted to beat him to death with one fist. I said why this guy had such a good attitude just now, so he wanted to pull our Guangming Academy into the chariot. His attitude was so good just now, I didn't even have a chance to make trouble. Uncle G curled his lips and said regretfully, "Never mind. At this moment, it is more important to fight against the Protoss. As for other things, let's put it down for the time being. Call. I don't know how powerful this Protoss is. If they stop their attack this time, I don't know when they will attack again next time. If we continue to attack, we will be dragged down. At that time, we may have to give up the sacred land of the sacred land. I thought it was a great opportunity, but in the end it may be a catastrophe. This kind of thing, who can say for sure?" Shui Wanren seemed a little confused and even pessimistic about the future. For the mysterious Protoss, it also seems to have no bottom. It is preliminarily speculated that they are the descendants of the true God, and it is even very possible that the incarnation of the true God has evolved into what it is now through generations. Since they are involved with the true God, I don't know if they will have some means of the true God. If they hold many trump cards in their hands, what should the Guangming Academy do? Before coming to the territory of the Divine Land, although the speed of cultivation is a bit slower, at least the safety factor can still be guaranteed. Coming to the territory of the Divine Land can certainly increase the speed of cultivation, but if you have been living this precarious life, it is actually meaningless. Many things have two sides. For it, there is always a solution to a problem. That is it. By the way, Deputy Palace Master, who is the strongest person in our light camp? What cultivation level does he have? Above the demigod realm, there are false gods and quasi-gods.